I like doing everything. There's my favorite workouts lately where I feel is back. I mean, back, and the gym, like I said, the gym that I'm at is kind of like like the people like look and stare, but when I was down in Tampa, people were like, "Damn, who is that?" And I was like, "Oh," and that's why I was told my husband, I'm like, "I need to be here. Like, I need to finish my prep here. Like, this is motivating for me, like move me here now." So, um, but I just like working out. I really do. There's not really any exercise I don't like to do. Well, take that back. I hate doing abs. I hate
Yeah.
abs. I rather
Um,
do I'll do cardio twice a day before I'll do abs.
what?
Yeah.
Ooh, whoa, 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 whoa,
I hate abs.
whoa. I mean, cardio twice a day. You don't want to do abs? Here's the thing about it. Abs is a centerpiece of a great physique. I can name some great ladies in the back of the day who had killer abs, just a beautiful
Yeah.
abs. It's the centerpiece of a great physique. But, I know it's probably one of the toughest ones. Often I hear the ones that most bodies least like is leg day because,
Oh, because I need to grow legs, it's my favorite day.
yeah. So
Oh,
when you say that it's your favorite day, then you're a mutant. You're one of the few who say that.
yeah.
It's tough. It's like I keep, Kale may hate me make this reference, but I love making reference because it's perfect for a bodybuilder. You remember ever watch the episode of Chappelle's Show when Charlie Murphy talked about when he met Rick James?
Mm.
It's an episode where you gotta find it. It's where Rick Dave Chappelle's playing Rick James. Charlie Murphy's
Okay.
telling about it's like true Hardy stories by Charlie Murphy. I've seen it. Like you ever seen it? And where he's talking about how they met Rick James in his club. So they invite Rick over to Eddie's house, his brother Eddie Murphy, Eddie. And then there's a part where Rick is on Eddie's couch and he takes his boots and grinding the dirt in his couch. Says, "Fuck your couch, Eddie Murphy. Fuck your couch." And what happens is that Eddie and Charlie goes over and beat Rick's legs and beat him so bad that he falls off the couch and he's crawling and says, yeah, give y'all niggas any money. Say, what my legs, Eddie Murphy?
Oh,
That's a leg day for a
I'll have to
bodybuilder.
definitely, yeah, I'll have to go look for that. You know,
It is one of the best episodes next to the time when Charlie talked about how he met Prince. That's
oh,
really funny. But yeah, everybody has a process that works for them. To build. If you like, I know slaves have great backs, and they just need to work on their lower half. They have great abs, and you bring in their shoulders. And if you look at, if we talked about earlier how the vision has evolved over the years, if we look at people like Cheryl Vilgas, one lady I follow, Emily Sherbert, one year when she was competing, she looked like she could do women's bodybuilding. I mean, some ladies would say they don't want to do it because they want to put that exercise muscle. But a lady had interview a while back, and I'm really cool with her. She's not going to be this year. Sherry Priyami. Sherry was physique. She moved up. Look how well she done
yeah.
for her. Um,
Or Ashley. What is Ashley from?
Ashley Jones.
Yes, that girl.
I mean, she's just. I'm a fan of her. She just did an interview with a guy I know. His name is Glenn. He lives right here in North Carolina. He does interviews also. He did.
Ah,
He actually did an interview with me. And Ashley just. I think it was Andrea who got Ashley to move over.
yes.
And this picture right here.
Wow.
Ashley just wow. This is when she was competing back in 2022 in women's physique.
Yes.
And her body's just wow. I mean, just that smile, that look, and just
Yeah.
me as a
Well,
black man, I
I like
love black
about
women
her.
muscle.
What I like about Ashley and Drea is that smile.
Yeah.
You ever just like Ashley and Drea both have these phenomenal smiles. Not that the other ladies don't. Like I love Angie O. I never say it right. Angie O. She's from Toledo.
Yeah.
Um, and everything, but she's a lot like me. She's a little harder and a little bit more like, Um, I honestly don't. Today is probably the most I've smiled in a while, to be honest. Um, I'm very straight faced, and I try to like when I'm out on the stage, I will look at the judges and smile very quickly, but I'm also a very hardcore like NGO where I'm out there. But Drea and Ashley get out there and there's big, beautiful smiles. Like like that's all you see is these radiant eyes and these big gorgeous smiles that they got there. There's my girl. She's so pretty.
That's my girlfriend.
I know she's so pretty. She
Yeah,
is. She's gorgeous.
yeah. I think, like I said again, Andrea changed women's bodybuilding. I think she really brought this great look to her. She reminds me of bodybuilder back then. Her name was Audrey Harris White. The face and the look. I got a picture of her. I melded together. I sent it to you. You might want to look at it. I got it. And there's amazing women. I'm a fan of Angela Yo. Great person, great personality. Ashley, she's a great person. Um, some ladies who I still have connections and friendships with. It's pretty cool. I mean, doing this content, I get to learn some stuff.
Yep.
And I even one lady I got a chance to meet when I went to Savannah that year was Leah Popa. I mean, yeah,
I got some photos of me and her. I like her too. She's a sweetheart.
this is why I say like this. Back in 2013, 2014, she could have been Miss Olympia and it could have saved women's bodybuilding. We
Yes.
talked about this before on Must Talk Mondays because she had a great look to her. No offense to Iris. Iris had a great, amazing physique, but I think they didn't like her look, especially when it comes to feminine wise. But if they wanted to, the judges could have awarded Alina those last two times, but they went with the aesthetics. And this is one thing is the judging keeps changing.
Yes.
Where we
That's
talk
where
about
I
this.
get confused,
Yeah, because
I have a really nice X frame and I have a nice V taper, but no, yeah, I know I'm not big on the bottom, but like get the feedback, grow your legs. Well, if I grow my legs, I'm not symmetrical anymore. I'm very symmetrical, so I get a little confused, but they're the judges and I respect them. And, I mean, come on, you're looking at bodies all day long. We start all looking the same, I think, at one point.
yeah,
But, God bless them all. Thank you for your time, judges. I'll take your feedback and I'll work with it.
yeah. But
That's all I do.
but sometimes I think they need to really, if they're the ones who set the criteria, they need to stick to the
Stick to it.
criteria. And I know you see one thing. I think where I talked to some people said that crossover does hurt it a bit because we see women coming from physique doing women's bodybuilding. You see women from figure doing physique. You've seen bikini competitors doing figure. You knew you had new division coming up. I don't want to speak its name because I'm not a fan of it, but I understand it's to get more attention for bodybuilding, get more recognition because bodybuilding, even though it's kind of grown the last few years, but it's still a fringe sport. Here, we got a comment from a man, KL. Shout to him. He says, I heard Alina Popa is cool. Yes, she is. Also, this is from a man, Lawrence Perkins says, Miss Lynne, keep on doing what you have love to do because your story and strength will save lives on the planet. And also, he says, good afternoon, Lynne, George, and everyone on the chat. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
well,
I think. Go ahead.
No, it's I totally agree. Like it's like as a competitor, I'm like, okay, it is what it is. The judges made the call. But when I see some of my friends and my husband, like, what is going on? So, like last year when I was at Universe, I was split center right in one division, split center left in another class. So I was like, okay, I got first somewhere because I was on one side and one side. So I'm thinking one of these, I'm taking a pro card, and I left and we came back for the night show. And when they called me second, a couple of people kind of like went, what? So I was like, okay, and then when I went to the next one and they called me second again, they're like, what? And my husband was like, I don't get what they're looking for. I said, you're not a judge. You're not supposed to know what they're looking for. I have to send my feedback. And one of the judges did come back. Listen, I had you in first, but it's the main judge who we all know. He makes the final call, and I'm like, it is what it is. I said, what do you think? What did he say to you? What do I need to work on? He's like, change your posing a little bit, go to masters. So I changed my posing, went to masters, and still ended up with a second and a third. So I'm like, oh my God, I'm like, I'm done, and then that same judge was like, no, you're not. Contact this guy. Have a good off season. I'll see you next year.
Yeah,
So
and that's good that that judge took the time and really
yeah,
told you and gave you critique and say what needed to make the things to help you get along the way. Here is from a man, shout out to man Lawrence again. He says, some judges need to stick with results as well. Appreciate that, brother. Also, he says, your husband is blessed with you in his life, and I know you feel the same. Continue to keep the relationship going for a whole eternity. Wow, that's he's one of I call him he's my female Bible whisperer. He really brings in a lot of good karma and
vibes and stuff.
he's
Yeah, I can see that.
he's van. But the thing is again is bodybuilding is a tough sport. It's about brain
So
conditioning.
competitive and
Yeah, everything has to be at a certain. You have to conditioning.
yeah.
You have to bring in the looks. Your posing is mostly like who's your posing coach? Who you working with?
I
Well,
I I've had a couple. I'm trying to. Obviously, Drea's going to be too busy. I would love to work with Drea again, but she's getting ready to leave for to go work with her coach. I've hit up Angie a couple times. Um, so I've been just going back through some videos of when I was with Sigillian and I was with Shanique Grant at one time and then I was with Kenny Wallach one time. So I've been pulling their videos and kind of just like rewatching their videos a little bit. I reached out to Kenny Wallach. He doesn't have any availability. So I'm hoping Angie will reach out to me, but I've just been practicing on my own. Christina Ware is going to help me too, which she knows what she's doing. She really didn't pay anyone until I think last year,
hmm well,
so
Laura's got suggestions. Says Rachel Daniels is a great posing coach as well.
yeah.
Also, Christina Nicole Mendoza. She,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, she's pretty good because she was working with. I think she was working with Chelsea. She also
Yep.
was working with Susan Matheson. I mean, Oh, also he's another lady he dropped. This is a young lady that I know. I didn't know her name. Robbie Costa is also well as a posing coach.
Okay.
Yeah, and I've seen. I did interview Robbie.
Send me those names, please.
Yeah, I'll send you Robbie's link. You can check her out.
Okay.
And that because Robbie's like the old school poser. She loves
Yes.
that. I remember when I
An
posted,
old school kind of person, like I said.
yeah.
I love Sid Gillian. I think she is absolutely gorgeous. When I worked with her, it was a little too feminine for me.
hmm
I still want to be feminine looking, but I just, I'm
Well,
not.
you got to remember she's a figure champion.
Yeah,
You really
I just
want
I'm built
somebody.
that way. But yet my routines are very because I used to do ballet. So my when I do my posing routines, everything is very flowy and you know, until I get nervous. For some reason, when I turn to the back, my heart starts just pounding so hard. I don't know if it's because I normally pick out a judge and I kind of like feed on that judge or I try to find my husband. But once I turn around and I can't see, my heart is just pounding like a oh
Well, here's the thing is, you just look at the crowd and you
yeah
look like just make them like all familiar faces,
yeah
like family, friends, everybody rooting for you, and just see them. Don't look at the judges as they're the ones who are going to judge you. Look at somebody like maybe your dear late sister, and
yeah
or just think about her, or think about your children and your grandchildren, and people like Chris. If Christina can't make it, think about her being there. Don't
yeah
that helps you? Just
yeah
think about people that really want you to succeed, and then once you feel that feeling, that love and that support,
that I
then
should
yeah,
calmly
yeah, food baba,
yeah
food
Usta.
baba,
So,
yeah. But yeah, this is a sport. This said again, it can be mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, financially draining.
yes
And when you get into it, you have to understand it.
yeah
Understand all the factors that's involved in it as an athlete. And as I said again, people out there, sponsorship does help. If you're interested in sponsoring somebody like Lynne, and you feel like she is a person that you really want to give an opportunity to, reach out and genuine interest. But don't be that guy where I often talk about, which ladies tell me this because he, say, hey, Lynne, yeah, you're the little beast. Yeah,
yeah
I got a beast for you. No, stop that. Stop that, you
You
sick
know,
freak.
I get equally as many women.
That's surprising.
I get a lot of women. I'll tell you a little proposition that I had.
Ooh.
I had a woman at my place of employment come up to me and ask me if I would beat her husband up while she watched for $5,000. I said, "I'm sorry, I can't hit somebody for no reason."
Hey, I'd be like Rocky Balboa.
You know? And of course, like, she's like, "You can bring a bodyguard. It's not sex. I just want you to slap him around. He's gonna be tied to a chair, and then you're gonna leave, and I'm gonna have fun with him." She's like, I'm like, I don't think I can do this. She goes, "You can wear a mask if you're worried that we're gonna video record you." I'm like, "I don't think I can hit your husband," you know. But yeah,
Ooh, that's. I've
yeah,
heard some guys might maybe a little arm wrestling, some little
yes,
sensual stuff because there is a fetish world to bodybuilding. Like
yeah,
some ladies, they do OnlyFans because it's a way to make profit.
yeah,
To do other stuff. I call them as is best way to say they're the beat the meat website because guys go on there. But it's rare to hear women because women do like some of that stuff. They are into women with muscles and they're also into kind of uh,
dominating men.
yeah, BBSM or and
Yeah,
also they're into that. I think it's not you, it's not for you. Maybe
no,
somebody else might want to do it because hey, that's like $5,000. That's right there. That's your prep.
yeah.
That's right there. You can buy
I
some
know. I was like,
tuition.
what was I thinking? That was one competition.
Yeah, it's like hey, well, your husband say, well, your husband can be your bodyguard. I put on the mask. Say, hey, baby, that's $5,000. So
My my daughter always jokes around. My youngest daughter, she's like, "Mom, just put a string bikini on, have dad take the pictures. You don't have to do nudes, and get an OnlyFans. I guarantee you'll make at least 5,000 a month." I said, "I don't need my dad or father-in-law scrolling through and seeing even in a string bikini. I don't want my dad."
and then you got your 14-year-old grandson say, hey, we saw
Hey,
your grandma. Say, what? What did like like we saying like teenage
yeah,
boys. Yeah, you be like like
boys,
yeah. Say
Miss
Miss Buscemi. Say yeah, like
yeah,
yeah.
my
But
poor grandsons, yeah,
but I think everybody finds what they feel is comfort for them,
yeah,
and you do what you do as long as your husband supports you
yeah.
and also stands by you and encourages you in your bodybuilding path. As so again, folks, sponsorship does help. Like people reach out and say, hey, Miss Buscemi, we saw your story. And it's very interesting what you went through, your life, your family, all that. We're a company that might be interested in sponsoring athletes. And we have a product. If the product works with your process and your training, we'd like you to use it and also be one of our brand ambassadors. So if this is something you would like to be involved in, let us know. We don't want no more than you to sponsor us, and we sponsor you and just help you along your way.
Yeah, 'cause, nothing's more like there was a gentleman one time who was, oh, I thought he was being genuinely kind. Like, listen, I know it costs a lot of money, and I know he had some money. And he's like, "How much does it usually cost? Can I help out?" And I'm like, "Well, that would be well, then of course,
Want something a little bit more.
yeah."
Yeah,
And I was like, "No, you know,
nah.
I'm not like that. I will bust my butt to do what I got to do. If I have to work every single day, in a row to finish getting the last bit, but no,
Yeah, like I say, you're a respectable lady,
yeah,
and if you know somebody who wants to do that, hey,
that's
go
fine.
on to yeah, go on to somebody
I
else.
know that there are women that have the OnlyFans and stuff like that. God bless them. I personally can't do it.
No, not it's not for everybody. It's
You know,
because
I
it's
give them credit. Like I'm sure you're like I know somebody who does it for feet, and she's making $10,000 a month
yeah.
with
I
her
know
feet.
I know a lady. We were really cool. She told me she was a fighter, and
Yeah,
she wanted to try to sponsor her next fight camp. She asked me, George, I'm thinking about doing something. I said, what you want to think about doing? I think I'll do some foot stuff. I said, ooh, well, and she said, well, I gotta be careful because she's a very public person. I said, well, all you got to do is this: get yourself another computer, get yourself a different email or whatever else, so it wants to be the same as yours. And you go take pictures and stuff like that. And, as long as your husband's cool with it, do it. I mean, there is some guys who are into feet. I'm not into feet like that. Especially you got corns and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
some guys are into it. That's not my thing. I just
No.
love the human body. I love the vegetation. I love things about it. Yes, as I said again, I am a muscle person, but it's up to you where you want to do as a person and in your life. Here, shout out to my man. I just text Robbie right now for you, Miss Lynn. I'm just wait to see what she she said. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Also, thank you, Lawrence.
Yeah, so yeah, thank you. So if he's because
Yeah.
he follows me on IG, he might send me a thing. If Lynn responds, if Robin responds, then she's like I said again, I'll send you the link later to check it out, and also a
Okay.
couple other links you want to check out some of the people.
Yeah, definitely. Please.
Yeah. So folks, we're not gonna hold the lovely Miss Buscemi. In relation
Buscemi.
to the Buscemi, in relation to the actor.
So he is a distant relative of my husband's. Yes. He was
Ooh.
also, do you know that Steve Buscemi was a New York firefighter during 9/11?
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah. That was
So
before he. That
he
was
has
like
a big, huge organization that he had developed and everything like that. So, yep.
yeah.
So it's
Yeah,
pretty cool.
great movies that you was
I
in.
always say when I'm on the phone, I'll be like, "Hi, this is Lynne Buscemi." Oh, like the actor. I said, I'm much cuter than he is.
Well, you are, but he
You know,
does some great movies like
oh, he's
Reservoir
awesome.
Dogs.
He's great.
I remember he was on Sopranos.
Yes.
The Big Lebowski.
Yep.
Great actor, Legend Fargo. I mean, I'm a movie buff. I like my particularly. I like action movies like that. I do like good comedies and good mysteries. I often quote movies like my favorite is the scene at the end of in Rocky Balboa where he's talking to his son. It's not life's gonna beat you down. But it doesn't matter how hard you think it hits, how hard you take the hits, and keep moving
I have
forward.
that poster in my meditation room.
Yeah, keep moving forward. Rocky, hey yo,
Yes.
Adrian, yeah, hey yo, Rocky. That movie inspires
I
everybody.
was a kid. I saw every single Rocky movie, and my dad. I can't believe I didn't work out at a younger age because I literally was so intrigued. Like I said, with gladiators and Rocky, and I was the females with muscles, and my dad was like questioned my sexuality a couple times, and I was like, "It's just amazing, Dad. I love muscles, And I would sit there and say, I have little baby biceps, and you know,
Yeah. I interviewed some ladies from like Eastern Europe, like Czech Republic, Germany, so that they tell me that it was movies like guys like Sylvester Stallone and Arnold
Arnold
Schwarzenegger and and
Val,
Dolph Lundgren,
Val,
yeah. Those was the ones that really inspired those parts because bodybuilding saw is very suggestive in that part of the world. But it was really because you watch your movies, they were really back. The movies have changed now. You got see that guys like The Rock and you got Jason Statham. He's pretty cool. He's
well,
always
my husband just cracked up because we started watching Stranger Things. We're way behind everybody in the world.
mm.
So we binge Stranger Things. My husband's like, "Is that Kai Green?" I
Yeah.
said,
I
"Yeah."
think he was in. Yeah, he was in that. Yeah.
Yeah. He goes, "Kai." I go, "Honey, yeah, Kai Green. That's what he does now. He's an actor.
Yeah, he acts. He still
He's an
promotes.
artist." Oh,
Yeah, he really has made his wealth outside of bodybuilding. And that's the thing is, it's hard to do that. You look at, like you think about it. You look at guys like Arnold Schwarzenegger, Lou Ferrigno.
yeah.
Arnold. Even though I'm not a fan of politics when it comes down to women's bodybuilding and also the other women's divisions, I know everybody pays attention to the TNA division. That's wellness and bikini. But
The new
yeah,
one.
excuse me.
Yeah.
I understand it's about trying to get more,
More
but
money.
yeah, and get more attention. But here's the thing: is you're gonna have the divisions that end up looking like what bikini is now in another 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
Instead of just maybe stick to the criteria that are set for the divisions, tell the women bikini, hey, either you move up or you go to what the standard is for that division.
Yeah.
Same thing with women physique. And I'm looking at people like Lola Montez. I follow her.
Oh,
And
yeah.
her,
Oh,
wow.
and she's beautiful too.
She's beautiful. She had an amazing body. I mean, wow.
Does.
Yeah, Jessica
She's
Reyes
so confident.
Padillas.
Oh my God, she is so confident too.
Yeah, I think she could possibly, but here's the thing about Lola. one thing that holds her back, she does do OnlyFans.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a lot of political thing. You know that you saw Mrs. Trescott's
Well,
moving
that's
over.
like, the one thing that Drea really kind of hammered into me early on was, always be positive. I mean, I could still have a bad day, but if I was to post about it, I try to make it into a positive. And I learned to leave politics out of my Facebook. Once in a while, I might put a funny meme or something, but um, I don't want to be judged for something that somebody else may find offensive. So most of my posts are usually on how I'm feeling. I like to blog a little bit and, put my feelings out there because this is the most I've talked in I don't know how long. Um, but, I'm a pretty quiet person. So I like to write, and I feel like my point comes across a little bit better through my writing. I've had poetry published before and everything. So I tend to try to make my post a little bit upbeat and stuff because the judges do look, like you said, if you have an OnlyFans or if you're into something that they don't find that will be a good representation of the Olympia, they're going to kind of, even though you might be Olympian, material, they're going to pick somebody else over you. So you got to watch and that's what I'm trying to hammer into like a couple of my younger clients right now. Keep your personal life off of Facebook.
Yeah. Yeah, the thing is, I think, especially young people, they're in social media. Like with me, I have to be on social media because the fact is, that's how I make my connections. That's how I post. Just saw a friend of mine sent me the link for an upcoming show coming up this weekend. I might watch it because I know a couple ladies might be competing in that show. I'm really cool with. And I one thing I often I quote is one of my favorite. It's one of my favorite movies. Is Batman Begins. Is a part where Lee Meese, who plays Ra's al Ghul. He's the one who teaches Bruce Wayne to become Batman. He says, be aware of your surroundings all the time, young Master Wayne. Never give full sure footing for a killing blow." And the thing, I have to be aware of my surroundings. When I get into stuff, when I do interviews, I always try to see, let me see why I know, let me get some information about this person before I get it, because I don't want to be going in here blindfolded. And then the information you drop, I really get to learn something about what you went through and your stories and your ex-husband and your relationship with Andrea. I always feel like I get surprised when
Yeah.
I get the opportunity to talk to you ladies. So, folks, we're not going to hold much too longer. I
No,
know, busy day.
I
Yes, you gotta eat, gotta feed the machines, you gotta feed the beast.
I got a meal due.
Yeah. So this is a question I'm gonna ask you. What would you want for yourself out of bodybuilding as a whole?
Just to keep developing mentally, emotionally, and physically. The pro card would be amazing. I don't need, I don't have a lot of followers or anything like that. I don't need the followers to feel important. But as long as I keep evolving as a person, I think that's what really has made me a more understanding person is bodybuilding because of meeting so many different people. So as long as I evolve as a person and stay true to myself because I love what I do, and I think that's the number one thing for me. Pro card would be awesome, but it's not my priority. My priority is to be a good person.
Mhm. Well, that's the thing is, that's all you can be. Just be the best person you can be.
Yep.
You can only live for yourself, not for anybody else. It's good that you, again, you have support of your husband, of your daughters, of your grandkids, guys like Joe and your coach and anybody else around your family. That's good. The people who have issues with them, that's on them. If they don't know you, that's why I do interviews, because people need to get to know who you are. And this is an opportunity for you to share your story. Somebody might get to see, like I say, somebody might see this interview and says, hey, maybe a judge says, you know what? I think she has a great physique. She has great potential. Maybe we try to push her up into that IFB level, you know. And like again, if you don't get a pro card, I will say good. If you don't, hey, Bodybuilding's not going anytime soon. You always try, or you feel like you say you want to keep on pushing till you're pushing that walker on the stage. Keep pushing on. Keep doing what you want to do.
Yep, for sure. For sure, 100%, till I can't, and, I just like what I do. I really do. It's like I told you earlier, it's the first time I really feel like I belong and have been successful at something. So, I like it.
Mm-hmm. Like one of my favorite fighters back then, Mike Tyson said, "I just like to fight. I just like to fight. That's all. I just like doing that. It just it's like beating guys up. It just makes you feel good.
Yeah.
Yeah. You gotta love what you do, especially for y'all ladies. Said again, not as much as what comes. It's not a lucrative sport. I mean, it's not a lot of support unless you are a particular division. Like I said, I always say about the men's division, it's the bottom. If you know the pimping game, the men's division is the bottom bitch. They're the ones who always get the money and get the attention. You see guys like Derek Lumford walks away with $500,000, where you go to show like the Olympia and Andrea and Sid and the other girls get like $50,000. So the other divisions, but
it's sad.
Yeah, it's sad, but we all know it's about who and the promoters put their money behind the certain divisions that they feel like they can make the money off of